Does the Radiant Bow live up to its hype? One thing I have been hearing about since I started playing this game was how amazing the Radiant Bow is and how awesome the Radiant Bow is. So does it perform as they say? Let's find out. So to test this thing, what I did is I made Warrior Anna a thing, and we gave her Radiant Bow +3. I'm gonna have her and Fagato attack different enemies on this map just to see how much damage they can deal. So far, the damage isn't bad, so even just shooting this guy, and Anna hasn't really leveled up that much. This is like a low investment Anna that just kind of recently hit level 10. So she's able to deal decent damage with this against non-flying enemies, which is decent. I think I'll have Fagato kill that. So let's trade him the bow. Oh no, he can trade it himself. Alright, here we go. Alright, Anna. Alright, how much damage does Fagato deal? Now I upgraded his class. Alright, so he's dealing 20 on that enemy. With spur attack though, so I guess 18. Alright, let's test it on a few more enemies. So it hits 60 against this low-level Pegasus Knight, essentially. And then if we switch weapons, the Silver Bow hits way harder. Fagato actually doubles it with it, dealing more damage. And the Killer Bow, also 1 round. So all of these 1 round. This obviously has the highest base damage though. So far this is winning. Then we'll check Anna. But I also want to have something to compare it to. So let's see what Amber does on a Steel Bow against the same enemy. Alright, so he does a 49, and he has significantly higher strength, but the lack of might from the Radiant Bow. So he has 24 strength, and Anna has 7 magic, so let's see what she can deal. Alright, her Radiant Bow does 58 damage. So even though she's only 2 points of magic less than Fagato right now, she's still dealing pretty high damage. Okay, now we have some more durable enemies. These are actual Wyvern Knights. These are a little bit higher level. Alright, so Anna, on her Radiant Bow, deals 58 damage to this, so she would one-shot this. And then this other one, she also deals 58 to. So far early on, Radiant Bow +3 seems to be pretty solid for just like damage to flyers, and its base damage is okay. I mean, its might isn't the best compared to other magic, like 11 Sword Mage Knight. So like 11 Sword Mage Knight would very likely 1 round and double these anyways, and that's true throughout most of the game. Generally, Mage Knight on 11 Sword can 1 round flyers pretty easily, especially Wyverns. So in terms of this being better than the 11 Sword, I don't think that's the case. I do think it has some niche use case if you just want like some archers like, you know, Fagato, or like low investment Fagato, low investment Warrior Anna just hanging around just to like get extra kills on flying units, just to make use of those extra deploy slots. I think that use case makes sense. Because against non-flyers, the bow is kind of heavy, right? It's not exactly a light weapon. Alright, then Anna should start getting magic because she's still at 50% magic growth, so that's like the idea behind this build. And maybe she doubles, but seems unlikely long term, so she's mostly going to be chipping and dealing flyer damage. Alright, then Amber, by comparison, is 49 to that. So he's just like your high, he's like an example of a high strength unit. He's at Panette strength right now. So he hits a 42, which still one-shots this. So if you just have warriors, you can get away with, you know, not using a Radiant Bow. The thing with Griffin Knights, the Griffin Knights are really the thing you want to shoot down. Wyverns are not hard to kill. Your average mage that has decent speed can kill Wyverns. And a lot of units can kill Wyverns because they tend to be slower. They tend to use axes and heavier weapons. So I would say the thing to kill, like the real reason to use Radiant Bow, outside of running certain builds, is the killing of Griffins. Okay, so he does 62 on Radiant Bow. I think that's from Spur Attack too. Yeah, Spur Attack. So early on it seems really strong. Now late game, it could be decent as well. And Warrior Anna might have some potential on something like Leaf if you run like Hurricane Axe with Radiant Bow, but she would need, well, with Vantage, she would be able to potentially 1 round certain things. I've heard people running this type of build. Now, obviously, Levin Sword is generally better, especially if you have sword power. But this is better early to mid-game because it has better availability. Sword power, unless you get it early, like sword power 2 to 3 early, you're not going to get it until post chapter 19. So there is a use case. There is a build here, even just with Anna. Now with Fagato, his base magic is 9 on Cupido, which is generally enough to deal good damage with the Radiant Bow, especially if you improve it. So it could be the case that if you just run him full time, he can just always deal good damage to enemy flyers, but I would argue that most Tome users and most Levin Sword users are better overall because they can enemy phase, they can double more consistently. This thing's going to be kind of hard to double with. So in terms of low investment units, I think this one gets my seal of approval. Like if you just want a low investment Fagato or Anna or maybe even like a Citrine, and you want to just have some Radiant Bow unit who can shoot down flyers, and that's all you want them to have, I think that's a good use case. And the Anna, the strength isn't really there, like she has some strength. So you'd mostly be using Hurricane Axe and Radiant Bow, but it's still not bad. And you could attack, there's certain builds you could run on her. And this is a low investment Anna build where you just run her normally, and then she just happens to hit level 10, then you just Master Seal her into Warrior directly. You could also get her to 10 quickly, and then she would be very good early on. And then you could start getting her tons of level ups, which gives her magic. The more magic she has, the higher her damage is. And she could still get enough base damage on the Radiant Bow to deal 30 to 40% of non-flyers max HP. So she can still set up kills. So you could run something like a Draconic Hex build. You could run Draconic Hex with Canter. You could run Quality Time with Canter so she can shoot things then just keep chip healing dudes. That would actually be a viable build, and that'd actually be relevant, and it would just allow her to shoot armors and to shoot flyers for decent damage and utility. So does this weapon live up to its hype? I think it does. I think there's potential here, and I did test it on endgame maps with a very low investment Anna, and she was still able to do like 45 damage to enemies with 60 health, despite being very underleveled and the bow not being upgraded. So it does seem to be the case that it just one-rounds flyers consistently over other bows, which tend to struggle. So Radiant Bow does seem to be like one of the best bows. The only other one that I would say gives it a run for its money is like a killer bow. Definitely try out Warrior Anna or Cupido Fagato on Radiant Bow, both of which are good. There's also a Citrine build. Citrine Sniper. This is recommended to me by an LTCer who runs Citrine. So that wraps up this one. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, I live stream from 10 a.m. EST to 2 p.m. EST Monday through Friday. And currently I'm running a chat sabotage run where the chat decides different conditions for each unit per map that I have to follow. And if you super chat, you can actually make global conditions, like force me to use an archer on every map, or I have to donate all of my money until I hit Fearnay level 5, which is very brutal, but it's a lot of fun, and you should definitely check it out. Also, feel free to become a channel member so you can get a cool badge and get some emotes. I'm going to be adding more emotes soon, and I'll see you in the next one.